And before that, if you may, please, Miss Bindu and Miss Ria, could you please turn on your cameras? Okay, so what we did was we got to know about Mehmet and we learned how to ask question to someone and answer those questions very politely and in the correct way. We filled in the blanks with appropriate words that form appropriate questions. We used those suitable words in those questions. Then we learned about two words that sound the same but are spelled differently. That is whose and whose. One whose is with WHO apostrophe S, that is who is, and the other one is whose WHOSE, which means belonging to someone. We use this word when we ask someone about something belonging to someone or when we ask about possession. So we learned the appropriate use of these two words, how we can use it in questions, and what will be the answers to those questions, how we can answer those questions as well. And then lastly, we learned that from this page, we learned how to form sensible questions without missing any word, complete questions without missing any words, so that the question makes complete sense and the other person can answer appropriately. That is what we learned from the first page of our last class. Next, we moved on to another page, the next page, that is, we were doing this, we did not complete this page. This was all about listening and speaking, and we were talking about friends. Three types of friends that we all need. So we were talking about Jess's friends. Jess was talking, not we, but Jess. She was talking about all three of her friends, Rafferty, Dookie, and Joe. So do you remember what we heard last class? Welcome to our class, Mr. Partho. Okay, so this was our recap of our last class. Now what we will do is before the last page, I just said what we did. In this page, we heard Jess. We listened to Jess's audio. We heard about her three friends, Rafferty, Dookie, and Joe. We recognized who her forever friend was or is, who her new friend is, and who her reunited friend is, right? So the forever friend was Joe, the new friend is Dookie, and the reunited friend is Rafferty. So we listened to her audio and then we were doing activity 3 where we had to answer some questions about each of her friends, right? So we heard the detailed audio and Jess described her friends' lifestyle, where she met them, how long does she know them, how they are, their characteristics. We got to know all that from that audio and then we were answering the questions. Now what we will do is we completed the forever friend column. That was this column. We completed these. Now what's left is the new friends. These are left and the reunited friends are left, right? So what we will do is, because it was day before yesterday, you might not remember exactly what you heard. I will play the audio one more time along with the script so that you just need once to listen and understand and get all the information in your mind so that it's easier for you to answer, okay? So I'll be playing the audio now. Miss Bindu, Miss Riya, and Mr. Partho, please listen carefully so that I do not have to play it again, okay? Pay attention. Okay.
One 1.9 Jess's three friends.
This is a very special photo for me. It's me with my three very best friends. Aren't they fabulous? Joe, on the right, is my oldest friend, my absolutely forever friend. We were both born in the same hospital on the same day, and Joe's mum and mine became good friends. So Joe and I played together a lot when we were little kids, and we went to the same schools. We had other friends, of course, but she is the one I can talk to about anything and everything. She was the wild one. I wasn't so much, but I loved her crazy clothes and the way she changed her hair colour every week. After school, I went to university in Newcastle, and she went to study fashion in London. There was no need to text and call daily, but we knew we were always there for each other. Good times and bad times. And of course, whenever we meet, it's the same as ever. I love Jo. Juki is a new friend. A very new friend. We joined the same advertising company on the same day, just a couple of months ago. But already I feel as if he's a best friend. He's a great guy, great fun and very talented. Everyone loves Juki because he makes us laugh. He's going to go far, I'm sure. His mum and dad are from Barbados, but he was born here. He talks about holidays there. We're all saving like mad so we can go too. He says his grandparents would love us all. This picture shows the first time Jo met Juki. You can see how well they get on. Two crazy, fun, kind, clever people. And then there's Raf. Short for Rafferty. Red-haired Rafferty, we called him at school, but nobody calls him that now. Well, Raf. He's not a new friend. In fact, he was my first boyfriend when I was 14. We were really sweet together, so everyone said. But then his family moved to Dubai. His dad got a job there. We emailed for a bit, but then lost touch. Years later, I suddenly saw the name Rafferty Lucas on Facebook. It's an unusual name, so I friended him, saying, "Are you the Rafferty Lucas who went to blah blah blah?" And of course, he was. Jo was as surprised as I was. Anyway, he's now back in the UK, working near me. Isn't that amazing? He had a girlfriend when we first contacted, but, that's finished now. He's my friend reunited. And obviously it's different from when we were teenagers, but we still laugh at the same things. Who knows? Maybe we'll get back together. You can see why I love this picture so much.
Okay, so that was the audio about Jess's friends. Jess just spoke about her three friends and she described them in very details, right? So she talked about where they met, how long they know each other, about each of her friends' characteristics and what she likes or dislikes about each of her friends, as well as about their families, their studies, where they studied or where they work. All these details were discussed or narrated to us by Jess, right? So we did the first one, that is the forever friend, who was Jo, and we talked about it, how did they meet? So Jo and Jess were born on the same day in the same hospital, so they know each other from the day they are born. So how long ago? Same. So as long as they're alive, they know both of them. Also because their mothers are friends as well, right? So the third one was, what do you learn about the friend's life? So what do you know about Jo's life, right? So what we know is she was wild. She's not calm. She's very wild. Her characteristics is wild. She wears crazy clothes. She dyes her hair in different colors, and also that she went to study to London in fashion school. So that is what we know about Jess, right? About Jo, not Jess, Jess's friend Jo. And another thing, why does Jess like her or him? That is her. That is because Jo has always been there through Jess's good times and bad times. She's always been there to support Jess all through her life. So that is how we answered the first one. Now, I hope everyone understood and heard the audio very clearly, right? All three of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. So next, we will move on to the new friend, that is Juki. So I would like Ms. Bindu to answer me, how did they meet? So how did Juki and Jess meet? Miss Bindu?
Yes,
How did Dookie and Jess meet?
me. Okay, I tell to you.
Yes.
They go Juki and Joe.
Dookie and Jess.
Juki and Jeff meet. I tell to answer. I thinking. One time
Oh,
you give me.
I am thinking, okay? Think quick, quick, quick. Miss Bindu, are you done thinking? Okay, why don't you think about the second question, that is, how long ago did Dookie and Jess meet? In the meanwhile, Miss Ria, you can answer me. How did Jess and Dookie meet?
Yuki and this meet is a newly friend. Uh,
Yes,
uh, they meet in a uh, uh, hospital.
that is Joe and Jess. They met at the
Joe and
hospital when
Jess,
they were born. But we're talking
they
about Dookie, the new friend.
and they meet in a couple of months.
That is the second answer. Second answer. How long ago did they meet? But how did they meet, or where did they meet?
I don't memorize.
Means
You
good
don't
time.
remember?
That time maybe. Sorry.
In good times, bad times. No, that was Joe. She supported Jess in her good times and her bad times. What about Dookie, this new friend that we're talking about? Mr. Parthu, can you answer me? How did Dookie and Jess meet?
Duki and Jess meet their job in advertising.
Exactly. Very good. Very good. Excellent. You paid very good attention. That was good. Yes. So Dookie and Jess met at their company, at their place of work, that is an advertising company. So that is why Dookie is Jess's new friend. Okay. Um, Joe is Jess's forever friend because they have been together since childhood. But Dookie is the
Yes,
new
ma'am.
friend because Dookie met Jess at her job, at her working
Advertisement
place.
company. Yes, ma'am.
Right, at an advertising company. Right, very good, Mr. Partho. Now, the second question, how long ago did they meet? Miss Bindu, how long ago did Dookie and Jess meet? Yes, Miss Bindu?
I tell to answer.
Yes.
And question.
How long ago did Dookie and Jess meet? So Dookie and Jess met at their workplace, right? Where they're working. So how long ago was that?
They meet same times. Advertising same day, same time, same day.
Scientists?
Advertising
Same. Yes. Very
month
good.
ago.
Yes.
Month ago.
Exactly.
Couple of
Some
months.
One
months
month
ago.
ago.
Very good. Couple
Hmm.
of months ago. Very good. Excellent work. That was great. Okay. Next is, what do you learn about the friend's life? Miss Ria, can you tell me what do you learn about Dukie's life? How is he, or where did he study, or where was he born? Where is he from? What do we know about that?
He studied at university and
Where was he
also
born?
he's born London.
Very good. In the UK.
Yes, UK, and
Very good.
he's maybe crazy person. No, ma'am, I
Yes, he's great fun. He's
great
great
fun.
fun,
Yes,
and he's
great
also
fun. Okay,
talented. Very good.
okay,
Yes.
okay.
And what about his grandparents? He talks about his grandparents living somewhere and going, he wants to go to a holiday there. And there, all the friends are saving up to go there. What is that place? Do you remember?
No, no.
What about you, Mr. Partho? Do you remember which place
Bar
his grandparents live? No. Yes, yes, Miss Bindu. Yes.
Barbados.
Very good. Excellent. Barbados. Very good. That is great. So his grandparents live in Barbados and they're planning to go to visit them. All four of them are saving up money so that they can go for a holiday in Barbados. Very good, Miss Bindu. And Miss
Ma'am,
Ria,
I
you
I
too.
want to
Yes.
do something, ma'am. I share you
Yes.
something, ma'am.
Yes, sure.
Actually, my little baby, but 3 years I wake up whole night, so whole day and whole night. Most of the time I didn't proper sleep. Man, instant topics I don't memorize, ma'am. So I don't know how to overcome my difficulties.
Okay, I'll tell you one thing. So
Yes,
when
ma'am.
we're listening to audios,
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
not about memorizing, okay? You don't have
Yes,
to
yes, ma'am.
memorize because
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
not even possible to memorize such a big audio in just some minutes. It's never possible for no one. So, what you have to do is whenever we're playing the audio and the script is given, you
Yes.
read the script out loud. So, when we read something and we listen to
Yes.
that from our mouth,
Yes, ma'am.
it gets in our heads. Even if it's small words, not even the whole
Yes.
sentence, some of the words, it gets in
Yes.
our heads. And when we are asking questions or when we're listening to something related to that, that answer or the words sometimes pops up in our heads. So that makes
Yes,
us
ma'am.
easier to answer. Understood? So when I'm playing the
Okay, ma'am.
audio
Thank you.
and there's a script, you read out loud.
Okay, ma'am.
So that will help.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, most welcome. Okay, next one is why does Jess like him or her? That is him. Dukey is him. So why do you think Jess likes him, Mr. Partho?
Uh, Duki.
Jess.
Duki is a or friendly person.
Yes.
So, and he,
He.
uh, what am
He makes Jess laugh. They have
yeah,
fun
he's
together.
fun together. So that's why just like her. Sorry, just
Likes
like him.
him. Likes him. Good, very good. Well done. Okay, that was all about Dookie. Very good, Mr. Partho. Now, moving on to Rafferty. Rafferty is the reunited friend, right? So that means they knew each other from their childhood, but there was a distance between them for a long time. And then, after certain years, some years, they got back together. They got connected to each other again. That is why Rafferty is being called the reunited friend. Now, first question is how did Rafferty and Jess meet? Miss Bindu, how did Rafferty and Jess meet in the beginning? How did they get introduced to each other? Miss Bindu?
Okay. Jessie, her age is 14. That time, first boyfriend is Reparty.
Okay,
14
so
age.
Jess's first boyfriend was Rafferty, but where did they meet? Where was that? Where were they dating? When was it? Was it in the
Acha,
university?
Dubai.
Dubai, no.
Uh,
Rafferty went to Dubai after high school. That is why they lost contact. But they were friends from where? Do you remember? Miss Ria, do you remember where were Rafferty and Jess friends?
Ma'am, Rafiki.
short for Reparty is
Mr.
school.
Parthu, can you say?
Mm,
Yes, Miss
at their
Bindu. Very good. Yes, Mr. Parthu, say it.
school, at their school.
Yes, very good, very good. Very good. They were friends from school. Excellent. Now, how long ago, from how long do they both know each other? Miss Bindu, you just said that. You answered me in the first question that they were both dating or Rafferty was Jess's first boyfriend when they were just 14. So that was the answer
Hmm.
of the second question. Okay, next one. What do you learn about the friend's life? So, what do you learn about Raf's life, Mr. Partho? What do you know? What do we know about Raf's life? Rafferty's life.
After party life. Uh,
So one thing you said in the middle, Miss Bindu, that is related to this question. That is, he went to
Ma'am,
his family.
who
Yes. Yes, say it, Mr. Patto.
Referti Lucas. It's about the friend's life. He is the
He,
boyfriend of. He was the boyfriend of
Jess.
Jess, and when sorry, that's question about the Harlan's friends like.
Tell me, after high school, was Rafferty there in UK or did he move?
He moved to he moved to Dubai
Very
uh,
good.
for parents, and his father job there, and
Yes.
then he back to the UK.
He came
uh,
back to UK.
Came back to UK. Now he live in UK.
He
So
is living in UK and working there near Jess.
yes,
Right?
yes, yes, yes.
Very good. That is what we know about Rafferty at the moment. Very good, Mr. Partho, and well tried, Miss Bindu. Last one. Why does Jess like him? Miss Ria, can you tell me why does Jess like Rafferty?
Graffiti maybe just boyfriend at this time. Uh,
No, that was before. Now they're not dating. Now Raf is
yes,
not
yes,
her
yes,
boyfriend.
yes, yes, ma'am.
But there is another reason why she still likes him as a friend. Can anyone help Miss Ria about this?
can I tell
Yes, yes, of course,
Yes,
to
Miss
you?
Bindu.
Maybe uh, Refati and JC, and that time moved Dubai and maybe fall down one torch. They are emailed each other,
Yes.
but each other and tell to the one lost her torch. Suddenly, Refati Lucas on Facebook, it is usually named. That time they offended himself both each other. Maybe I do not know.
Okay, so
Uh,
yes, what you said is how they reconnected again. That is correct. How you
this,
said that
mm,
they reconnected through Jess emailed him or messaged him, and that is how they reconnected again. But what is one thing that Jess still likes about Rafferty? Mr. Partho, can you tell me? No? Okay, no problem. I'll say it. The one thing that they still have in common is that whenever they meet, they still laugh or they still enjoy the moment just like before when they were in school. So that is one thing that Jess still likes about Rafferty. Even though they had such a long gap between them, such a long time passed that they did not have any connection, but that did not change the fact that they both enjoy each other's company. So that is what Jess likes about him. Okay, so well tried, very good. All of you tried very hard. That was the best part about this activity. Now, what I would suggest is, I would like to suggest one thing for all of you is that whenever we are listening to some audio, we just like I said to Miss Ria, whenever
yes,
we're
ma'am.
listening to any audio, it is
Yes,
important for all of us to learn that we have to read the script or the writings about the audio. Most of the time,
yes,
it is
ma'am.
present there. That will help us with our pronunciation, with our fluency, even with our listening skills. Because
Yes,
if we
ma'am.
don't listen properly, we will not be able to speak properly. See,
Yes, yes,
when babies are born, after they're born, they don't talk, right? They listen
yes,
to
ma'am.
us for several months. They listen to the parents, to the family, and then they learn to talk, right? That is
Yes, ma'am.
how our mechanism is built by the Almighty. So we have to listen first, listen properly, and then the words will come out properly out of our mouths. Understood? So that is what we always have to do when we are listening and speaking. Now, coming back to our lesson, that is our fourth activity here. Here are more questions from the audio. These are very simple. What we have to do is there are 8 questions given. We have to just answer the questions in short. We don't have to say the whole story. We just have to answer in one sentence, okay? Like, for example, in number one, the question is whose parents would like to meet the friends? Whose grandparents would like to meet the friends? So you have to say dash or dash, the name you put there. Dash's grandparents would like to meet the friends. That will be how we will answer. Then is number two, whose moms became good friends? Dash and dash moms became good friends. So the names will be there in the dash. Understood? Just in one sentence. Got it? So the questions are I'll read out the questions for you so that it's easier. Then I'll give you 1 minute time so that you can write down your answers or note down your answers or prepare it for yourself, however is easy for you. And then I'll ask you, okay? So the first question is whose grandparents would like to meet the friends? Number two, whose moms became friends? Moms means moms. So in UK or in England, the English people either say mum or mother, usually. So that is why it's written mums. Number three, who went to Newcastle University? Number four, who's working near Jess? Number five, who had a nickname at school? Why? Number six, which friends make Jess laugh? Number seven, which friend lived abroad? Where? Number eight, who is the wild friend? Why? So these are the 8 questions. It's very easy because you heard the audio very carefully, I know. So it will be easier for you to answer, okay? So take 1 minute time and then I'll ask you the answers. I would like to request Miss Bindu and Miss Ria again. Please turn on your cameras. Please.
ফাইডিটা নামাতে দাও।
Ma'am, I have a problem some days, but inshallah, within short time, I uh, on my camera.
Okay, do try, Miss Ria, because
Yes,
it is
ma'am.
like I said last class, it is very easy for me to see you on camera because every time I explain something, I have to ask, did you understand or not? If you have the camera on, I don't need to ask that. That saves time, as well as you don't have to always turn on your mic and answer me again and again, okay? Thank you, Miss Bindu, for turning on your camera. Please keep it on. Don't turn it off. Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, so are you done answering the questions? Yes, no? Okay, Mr. Partho said yes. What about Miss Bindu? Are you done answering the questions?
No.
Not yet. Quick, quick, quick. Finish it quickly. Miss Ria, are you managing to answer the questions?
No, ma'am, I don't memorize. I don't know how can I.
You don't remember? Okay, no problem.
Yes, yes.
Just try some random. Maybe,
Ma'am, this set lesson will you give me
it is
after
already
class?
given. It is already given. The book that you got 2 books, right?
Yes, ma'am.
It is there. The audios are also given in that. It's all together. Okay. Okay, let's start. Let's start with number one. Mr. Partho, you tell me the answer to number one. Whose grandparents would like to meet the friends?
Duki's grandparents would like to
Very good.
meet the friends.
Excellent. Very good. Number two, Miss Bindu. Whose mums became good friends? Miss Bindu, you're muted.
Duki and Joe.
Duki and Joe? Jess and Joe.
Sorry, Jess and Joe.
Yes, well tried. Very good. Okay, number three. Miss Ria, you listen to this activity. I'm not asking you now because you just said you cannot manage it. So what I will do is, Miss Bindu, you ask the questions to Mr. Partho. From three onwards, you ask the questions to Mr. Partho and Mr. Partho answer the question. Okay?
Oh,
Start, Miss Bindu.
I asked Partho.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. You ask Mr.
Okay.
Partho.
Okay. How are you, Mr. Partho?
Yeah, I'm good. How about you?
Good. I ask you question
Number three.
3 to 8.
Very good.
3. Who went to Newcastle University? Number
Just
3.
went to
Very good.
Newcastle University.
Very good.
Okay. Okay. Number 4. Who's working near Jess?
Duki.
Hmm?
Duki working
Duki is
near
working
Jess.
near Jess? No. Duki is not working near
No.
Jess. Duki is
JC
working.
and
Yes, Miss Ria?
JC and Rafferty is a
Exactly. Excellent.
classmate.
Jess and Rafferty.
Excellent, Miss Ria. Rafferty is working near Jess. Near means
Yes,
somewhere near. That is
yes,
close to someone.
working near.
And
Yes,
Duki is working with Jess at the same company. Understood,
yes,
Mr. Partho? That's the difference. Rafferty is working near Jess. That is that is close to Jess. So Rafferty's workplace and Jess's workplace is close to each other. But Duki and Jess are working at the same place.
same place.
Yes, very good, Miss Ria. See, you did
Thank
listen
you.
carefully.
Yes,
Very
ma'am.
good. Okay. Next is number five. Yes, Miss Bindu,
5.
ask number five.
Who had a nickname at school? Why?
I think Rafferty Lucas.
Yes, and
Rafferty
why?
Lucas had a nickname at his school, and her previous name is Lucas.
Previous name
And
was Lucas. No,
sorry,
Raf.
it was red-haired Raf because of his red hair color that he had. And in short, they used to call him Raf. That was his nickname. Okay, well tried. Yes, next one, Miss Bindu.
Number 6. Which friends make Jess laugh?
Duki
And
makes Jess laugh.
there will be two or more because friends it's written.
Friends. Sorry, Duki and Ju.
Juki and Raf. Juki and Raf make Jess laugh. Very good. Next.
Number 7. Which friends live abroad? Where?
Rafferty Lucas live abroad, and he live in now in UK, but yet previous he lived at
In
Dubai.
very good. Excellent. Very good. Number eight, last one.
Number 8. Who is the wild friend? Why?
Ju is the wild friend, the because of they changed her color,
Hair color.
hair color,
And
and
she wore
uh,
crazy clothes.
crazy to her. Yeah.
Yes, very good. Well done, Mr. Partho. Excellent work. You paid very good attention. You were concentrating very well. That shows. Excellent work. Now, I would like you, Mr. Partho, to ask Miss Bindu the questions and Miss Bindu would be answering. Start from number one.
So first question: whose grandparents would like to meet the friends?
Duki.
Give the full sentence answer, Miss Bindu. Duki's grandparents would like to meet.
Duki,
কোথায় তো এইটাই তো
I
ভাবতেছি
tell
সিবি
to
টেমপ্লেট
answer
যত জায়গায় ভালো
to the
জোগাইতে গেছি
question.
সব জায়গায় কিনা লাগে
Duki
আচ্ছা
grandparents
যদি কিনলে
would
একটা
like to
আমাদের জন্য
meet
আমরা
the friend.
অনেক তৈরি করতে পারি
Very
তাহলে এটা
good.
কিনি
Number 2.
The second one, which mom, sorry,
তাহলে
whose
আপনি
moms,
অনেকগুলো দেখে একটা
whose
পাচ্ছেন
moms became good friends?
ভাই সাহেব ইয়ার কাছে আমি
Jess
ইকতিয়ার ভাই
and
পারমিশন নেই
Joe
আমাদের ইয়ার
moms
কাছে
became
ক্রেডিট কার্ড
good
আছে কি জানি
friends.
বলে
Very good.
ফারজানের কাছে আমার কাছে একটা আছে আমরা তাহলে কিনে দিব না ভাই
Third question,
একটা ভালো
who
সিভি
went
ফরম্যাটে ইয়া
Newcastle University?
Went to.
Sorry, who went to Newcastle University?
Newcastle, it হচ্ছে
Jess. Jess. Jess went to
আমি বের
Newcastle
করছিলাম একটা
University.
কই জানি আমি বের
Jess
করছিলাম
went to Newcastle
অনেক ভালো
University.
একটা বের
University.
করছিলাম
Very good. Number 4.
Then fourth one, who's working near Jess?
Refer to
Full sentence.
working near Jess.
Rafferty
Refer to
is
working near
working.
Jess.
Is working near Jess. Good. Very
Sorry,
good.
Fifth one, who had a nickname at school
And
and
why?
why?
Duki, না refer to
Had.
had a nickname at school because
Because.
Referee had a big hair, red color
hair.
hair, red hair
That is why he was called.
that time
He was called red-haired
Rafferty.
Rafferty.
Short name
Good. Rafferty.
red-haired Rafferty.
Very good. Very good. Excellent. Next one.
The sixth one, which friends make Jess laugh?
Yes, Miss Bindu, you're muted.
Duki friends makes Jess laugh.
Duki and another person. Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. Next one.
Next, the seventh one, which friend live abroad and where?
Referee
Yes.
stay UK. Lived in UK, but going to Dubai.
Very good.
To Dubai.
Very good. Excellent. Excellent. Next one.
Okay,
Last one,
just
that is.
the last one. Who is the wild friend and why?
Wild friend হচ্ছে Duki. Duki
No.
is the wild friend.
No.
No, Joe.
Yes. Good. Joe is the wild friend. And why?
Wild friend because
Because she changes her hair color every week.
Yes, every week. That
And
reason
she wore
wore
crazy clothes. Very good. Excellent. Well done, Miss Bindu. You did great. Mr. Partho did great. It was amazing. Inshallah, hopefully in our next activities like this, Miss Ria will also be doing great. Right, Miss Ria?
Okay.
Right. Okay. That was excellent. I liked it very much because, when my students give a good outcome after doing certain classes, it makes me proud. That was the moment.
Disappointed.
No, I'm not
Because my
disappointed with you. No,
guys
Miss Ria. No. It's okay. It happens. No problem. I'm not disappointed with you at all, but I am hoping to see your excellent performance in the upcoming classes. But I'm not disappointed with you. Keep that in mind. Don't get demotivated by thinking that. Most welcome. Okay. So now this was all about our this page that we just completed. Now what we will do is we will move on to our next page, That is a new lesson. So this is all about reading and speaking, and it is about a blind date. So do you know what a blind date is? Miss Bintu, why did you go away? Why did you switch off your camera again? Don't do that. Come online. Come to the camera. Very good. Yes, thank you. Okay. So do you know what a blind date is? Anyone? Yes, Mr. Patel?
Blind date means the boy and the girl they meet at in past. They didn't meet in past, but uh, when they meet in a
At a place?
at a place, they don't know each other. I think that is called blind date.
Exactly. Very good. Very good. So, like Mr. Partho said, a blind date is when two people, a girl or a boy, meet each other, but they don't know each other from the past or they don't know anything about each other, but they just meet for the very first time. That is what a blind date is. So, this activity that we're going to do, this lesson, is regarding a blind date, and through that, we will be reading and speaking, and we will be developing our reading and speaking skills mainly. Okay, so before we jump into the blind date part, let's see activity one, in which there was a survey made about including 10,000 couples, and they were asked where and how they first met. So this was a survey about how and where these 10,000 couples met for the first time. So this survey includes an activity, and this I was doing again first. Here we can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 options of where they met, and here are certain percentages given that will be matched with these places, or how did they meet, the places or the situation where they met. So what we will do is we will listen to one audio where we will get to understand or get to hear which percentage of what percentage of people met at school or university or at work or through family or through friends or through a blind date. That will all these informations will be in that audio. So listen carefully. I will show the script for your ease. So when, like I said, when you're listening and seeing the script, read it out loud. That will help you take the information in your mind, okay? So I'll be playing it. Listen carefully and pay attention.
1.10. How did they meet? A survey.
A survey of over 10,000 couples asked how they first met. The top three were, first, with 25%, through friends. Second, at work.
Another thing I would like to add is, if you're seeing that the script or the audio has some informations that you can note down, that you can just write point to point, you can do that as well. That will also help you to keep things in mind. When we have activities involving these audios, these small notes or points will help you with your answers, okay? So for example, here, there are some percentages and some phrases that are related to it. You can just quickly note it down while you're reading it and you're listening to it, okay? That will help you. Okay, let's start from the beginning again.
1.10. How did they meet? A survey.
A survey of over 10,000 couples asked how they first met. The top three were, first, with 25%, through friends. Second, at work, with 18%. And third, at school or university, with 13%. Next, online dating is 12%, and social media, 7%. This means that nowadays, about 19% of couples don't actually meet face to face. 6% meet at a bar or club, and only 5% through family. That seems surprising. Last of all, 3% meet on a blind date. That leaves 11% who didn't meet in any of these places.
Okay, so that was the audio regarding what percentage of people meet at which place. So I hope it's clear for all of you. Let's start doing the activity together. Okay, so first one is how did they meet at school or university? So what percentage will be this?
13%.
Okay, 13%. Next, at work, Ms. Bindu. Ms. Bindu, you're muted. Your mic is muted. Yes. At work?
13%.
13% is already done, Ms. Bindu. That is at work, at school or university. It's okay. At work, it will be?
19%.
19% is not there in the option.
18%.
Okay.
Very good, Miss Ria. Excellent. Very good. Okay, Mr. Partho, at a bar or a club?
At a bar or club, 6%.
Okay, 6%. Miss Ria, online dating?
5%.
5% online dating?
No.
Try.
12%. 12%.
Okay, 12%. Very good. Social media, Miss Bindu?
7%.
7%. Very good. True friends, Mr. Partho?
25%.
25%. Okay. Next is through family, Miss Ria. Miss Ria, through family?
7%. No. 7. Not
7 is already done.
Yes, ma'am. 11%.
11%, sure?
5%.
No, Miss Bindu?
5%.
5%? Mr. Partho also 5%? Okay, let's see. We'll check at last. What about a blind date?
Blind date লিখলাম তো।
Blind date,
Yes.
3%.
The minimum
3%?
percentage.
The minimum percentage, okay. And what about none of these?
Is not counted. Bus, 15, 16.
Mr. Partha, are you adding all those up?
Blind date হচ্ছে 3%.
Blind date is 3%. Yes, that is done. What about none of these? The last one?
Or none of 11%.
11%. Miss Ria, what about you? What answer do you have for this? Miss Ria?
Hopefully it will be 11%. I think.
Mr. Partho, your calculation says it will be 11%.
11%.
Okay, and what about Miss Ria? Will it be 11%? Are you sure? Okay, let's see.
Confusion, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay, no problem.
11.
Okay, so let's see. Let's check the answers. Well done. All of those are correct. Well done, everyone. So see, you did improve in listening now. I hopefully you took my advice and I think you worked on it and see the results. It is correct. All of those are correct. Excellent work. Very good. Okay, now moving on to our next activity that is regarding a blind date. Okay, before that, tell me one thing. Did these percentages surprise you in any way? Did you think the percentages that are given here should have been a bit more or should have been a bit less? Anything like that? Did anything surprise you regarding this percentage?
Yes, ma'am. Surprised.
What surprised you, Miss Ria?
None of these. I don't know what about the
The rest
none
of
of
them.
these.
Okay, so the rest of them did not meet anywhere.
Ye-
So I think
yes,
they're still single.
yes.
That's why.
Another topic is clear, but none of these. Which type of topics?
So these options are not included in none of
Yes,
these. So that
ma'am.
is why I
Yes,
think The others who did not meet here, they're still single.
Yes, ma'am.
That's why,
Yes.
maybe. Sadly. Okay. Moving on. So, Ms. Bindu and Mr. Partho, did anything surprise you?
Surprised that the only 5% through the family.
Exactly. So this also surprised me that through family it's only 5%. That's surprising. That surprised me too.
It's our
Okay.
the survey
Yes.
is only in UK
Yes,
or
yes. In UK, not over the world. Because it's in UK, that is why blind date is also included. I don't think blind date is still so popular in Bangladesh or in our Asian countries. Maybe in other Asian countries it is, but in our subcontinent, I don't think it's still widely known to everyone. Okay, so moving on, now that we're done with the first activity, we can move on to our next activity that is the main part of this lesson, that is about a blind date. The activity 2 says, look at the photos and read the introduction to the magazine article. So here we have a cutout from a magazine article that is here, and it says blind date. Okay, why don't you read it for me, Mr. Partho? Read this magazine cutout for me.
blind date. Each week we organize a blind date between two of our readers. Then they answer questions about how it went. This way, Katy Perry, a
Yes,
22 festival organizer, meets Rose
Ross
30
Mayo.
Mayo, 31 carpenter. They meet in the Oyster Shake restaurant
Oyster
in
Shack.
Big Berry on Sea. Big Berry on
Devon.
Sea, Devon.
Good.
Will they ever meet again?
Okay, good. Thank you. So here we see that this magazine organizes a blind date between two of their readers. So these readers meet at a blind date, and for this week, the two readers are Kitty Ferry and Ross Mayo. So Kitty Ferry is a festival organizer, and Ross Mayo is a carpenter. They met at a restaurant that is Oyster Shack, and it is on Bigbury on Sea, Devon. So this is the place's name, Bigbury on Sea, and Devon is the city. So the question is, will they ever meet again? So let's see activity 2. Here we have some questions given. That is, what is a blind date? That you all know, we just talked about it. Second is, who are the people and how old are they? Miss Ria, give me the answer to who are the people and how old are they?
The people is a Kitty Ferry
Yes,
and Rose Mayo, two
good.
people in here, and 22 festival organizer meets, and 31 Rose Mayo. He's a carpenter.
Good. So Kitty Ferry
They
is
meet.
22. Yes,
Yes. Katy Perry is 22 and Rose Mayo is 31. They meet
very good.
Oyster Shack restaurant in Big Berry on Sea Devon. He is meet
That is
both
where
of.
they met. Very good.
Yes.
So, what are their jobs, Miss Bindu? Yes, Miss Bindu. What are their jobs?
Their job, mm,
What does Kitty
one
Ferry
is
do?
Kitty Ferry do.
Yes. Kitty
Kitty
Ferry
Ferry
is
do.
a
Kitty Ferry is a festival organizer,
very good,
and
and Ross Mayo
Rose Mayo, 31
is
is carpenter.
okay. So very good. Kitty Ferry is a festival organizer, and Ross Mayo is a carpenter. Very good. And Mr. Partho, where did they meet?
They meet in Oyster Shake restaurant in Big Berry
Very good.
on Devon.
Very good. Excellent work, all three of you. Great. Okay, so now that we're done with the introductory activities, moving on to our main activity that is here. First, let me zoom out. That will be easier for you to see. here we have a big conversation among the magazine interviewer and Kitty. So here you can see there is a big conversation, this whole thing. So there are 10 questions asked by that magazine to Kitty, and she's talking about Ross. So what they're doing now that the magazine made them meet, the magazine introduced both of them. So now what both of them have to do is that Kitty has to talk about Ross, about how she liked him, how she did not like him, how was their date, do they want to meet in the future or not. So these questions will be answered by Kitty about Ross, and Ross will also be answering the magazine about Kitty. The same questions will be asked to Ross as well. That is in the next page. That is together. We will do both of them together. Oh, before that, let me show their faces to you. So this is Kitty and this is Ross. So they met at the Oyster Shack. It is a seafood place, and this place is where it's beside a seaside. So what we have to do is we have to read the whole thing. First, we will do Kitty talking about Ross, and then we'll move to Ross talking about Kitty, and then we have some questions to answer that is given in activity 3. There are 8 questions that have to be answered, and all these questions are of both sides. So what Kitty thinks about Ross, we have to answer that, and what Ross has to say about Kitty, we also have to answer that. Before that, I would like you to read what Kitty talks about Ross. So read this whole thing and then I'll make you read it out, okay? So take your time, read it for once, or what I can do is I read for you, I will read it for you. And when you're listening to me, you same like the audio. So just imagine that I am the audio that is playing and you will read along with me, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. So let's start. Kitty talking about Ross. I'll clear it so it's easier. First impression. He had a kind face with a beard. Of course, every guy has a beard these days. He laughed out loud when he saw me on my bike. What did you talk about? Music, travel, jobs. I love my job. I get to travel a lot, but only in the UK. I'd love to see more of the world. I love that Ross left a well paid job in London to be our carpenter. Oh, and me, being a veggie, he was surprised that I still eat fish. Any difficult moments? It was really hot in the restaurant, and I had a big woolly jumper on. I was worried that I looked red. Best thing about him? He was chatty and funny. He tried to teach me how to wink. He laughed so much people were looking at us. He enjoys life and his work to the full. Would your friends like him? Oh, yes, they would love him. Describe him in 3 words: funny, kind, intelligent. Did you go on somewhere? Yes, we went for a walk by the sea in the rain. I love rain. I ran to the sea and fell over. Ross rescued me. Did you kiss? Well, he rescued me, didn't he? So what do you think? Marks out of 10. The more we talked, the more I liked him. 8. Would you like to meet him again? We're going to meet again. He's going to make a wardrobe for my new flat. So that was what Kitty had to say about Ross. What I would like to do now is that I would like you to do is that Miss Ria read the first 2 questions asked by the magazine till here. Read from here till here, Miss Ria.
Ma'am, first question, why did they laugh as soon as they meet?
Not the questions, Miss Ria, not these. Read this
Okay,
part. Marked
okay,
part.
ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Kitty,
Wait, let me zoom in.
Kitty talking about Rose.
Ross.
First in Ross. First impressions, he had a kind face with a beard, of course. Every guy has a beard these days. He laughed out loud when he saw me on my bike. What did you talk about? Music, travel, jobs. I love my job. I get to travel a lot, but only in that UK. I would love to see more of the world. I love that Rose left a well-paid job in London to be a
Left.
carpenter. Yes, okay. Left a well-paid job in London to be a carpenter.
Good.
Oh, and me being a veggie,
Veggie. Veggie.
veggie, he was surprised that I still eat fish.
Very good. Very good. Well done. Okay. Next is I would like Ms. Bindu. You read from any difficult moment till describe him in 3 words.
Any difficult moment. It was really hot in the restaurant, and I had a big woolly jumper on. I was worried that I looked red. Best thing about him, he was chatty and funny. He tried to teach me how to swim. We laughed so much, people were looking at us. He enjoys life and his work to the full. Would your friends like him? Oh yes, they would love him. Describe him in the words
In
funny,
3 words.
kind, intelligent.
Very good, Ms. Bindu.
Sorry.
Now, Mr. Partho, read till the last.
Uh, did you go on somewhere? Yes, we went for a walk by the sea. In the rain. I love rain. I ran into the sea and fall over. Rose rescued me.
Fell over and
Rose
fell
rescued me.
over. Yes. Okay, it's Ross. Okay, Ross.
Rose.
Rose is Rose. So this is OSS. So this is Ross.
Okay. Did you kiss? Well, he rescued me, didn't he? So, what do you think? Marks out of 10. The more we talked, the more I liked him. 8. Would you like to meet again? We were going to meet again.
We are going to meet again.
He's going to make a wardrobe for my new flat.
Very good, very good. Okay, that was great reading from all of you. Now that we have read the part where Kitty is talking about Ross, let's move on to reading the part where Ross talks about Kitty. So we got the impression of Kitty, what she has to say about Ross, but we still don't know whether Ross liked Kitty or not, right? So let's see what Ross has to say about Kitty. Okay, so this is the impression of Ross about Kitty. So here as well, like the before part, I will be reading the whole thing and you read along with me, keeping your mics muted, and then I'll let you read by yourself. I mean, in class. Okay, Ross talking about Kitty. First impressions. We both arrived on bikes. I liked that. I couldn't help laughing. And I loved her big smile and crazy clothes. She was so bubbly. What did you talk about? Music, our jobs, why I left my job as a journalist and moved here. Kitty wants to travel the world. I did that when I was 21. I'm happy now, living and working by the sea. She's a veggie. Bad news, but she eats fish. Surprising. We were in a great fish restaurant. Any difficult moments? I think I said something that embarrassed her. She went very red. I don't know what it was. Best thing about her? Her laugh. We both laughed a lot. I loved hearing about her job. She doesn't earn much, but money doesn't matter to Kitty. I'm the same. Would your friends like her? Very much. My flatmate Mark would really love her. Describe her in 3 words. Funny, interesting, very pretty. Sorry, that's 4. Did you go on somewhere? Well, we didn't go far, just down the beach. I rescued Kitty when a wave knocked her over. Did you kiss? Well, when I picked her up from the water, she said, "Are you going to kiss me?" So I did. Marks out of 10? She can't wink, but I like her. 9. Would you like to meet again? Definitely, but I'm not going to introduce her to Mark. That was what Ross had to talk about Kitty. Now, what I would like you to do is, I would like Ms. Bindu to read this part. Yes, Ms. Bindu, read the
Okay.
first two parts. I'll zoom in so it's easier. Yeah, yes, read.
Ross talking about Kitty. First impression, we both arrived on bikes. I liked that. I couldn't help laughing. And I loved her big smile and crazy clock. She was so bubbly. What did you talk about? Music, our jobs, why I left my city job as a journalist and moved here. Kitty wants to travel the world. I did that when I was 21. I am happy now, living and working by the sea. She is busy. Bad news, but she eats fish. Surprising. We were in a great fish restaurant.
Very good. Thank you, Ms. Bindu. Now, next part, from any difficult moments to describing her in 3 words, Mr. Partho, read these 3 parts, please.
Any difficult moments? I think I said something that
Embarrassed.
embarrassed her. She went very red. I don't know what it was. Best thing about her laugh. We both laughed a lot. I love hearing about her job. She doesn't earn much, but money doesn't matter to Katie. I'm the same. Would your friends like her? Very much. My flatmate, Mark, would really love her. Describe her in 3 words. Funny, interesting, very pretty. Sorry, that's 4.
Very good. Thank you so much. Now, Miss Ria, read the rest of it.
Uh, did you go to
Go on
somewhere?
somewhere.
Did you go on somewhere? Well, we didn't go fair, just
Far.
down to the far, just down to the beach. I rescued Kitty when a wave knocked her over. Did you kiss? Well, when I picked her up from the water, she said, "Are you going to kiss me?" So I did. Marks out of 10. She can't wink, but I like her. 9. Would you like to meet again? Definitely, but I'm not going to introduce her to Mark.
Good. Excellent work, all 3 of you. Now that we know what Ross thinks about Kitty and what Kitty thinks about Ross, we can answer the questions that are given, right? So let's see what the questions are. We have 8 questions here. Sorry. 8 questions that are: why did they laugh as soon as they met? Number 2, how does he or she describe him or her? Number 3, who's a veggie? Bracket, vegetarian. So we all know vegetarian people, right? Who eat only vegetables and nothing like meat. No meat they eat. So they are called vegetarians, and in short, we say veggie. Who isn't? Number 4, what did he or she say about travels? Number 5, why did Kitty go red? Number 6, what did Ross teach Kitty? Number 7, who is Mark? Is Kitty going to meet him? Number 8, how did the evening end? What did they do? So these are the 8 questions that you have to answer. It's not necessary that you have to say a lot of things for the answers. It can be just one line answers. So I'll give you 1 minute to prepare for it because we just read the text. We read both the point of views. It will be easy for us to answer, right? So you can just note down some points that will be easier for you to form the whole thing. So 1 minute and you start. I'll ask you after a minute.
Okay.
Okay, done? Let's start. Not yet? No problem, we can start. We'll discuss it together. Let's start with number one. Why did they laugh as soon as they met? Miss Ria?
Ma'am, she laughed because she on his bike. That's why she laughed.
Very good.
Am
They
I right,
laughed.
ma'am?
Both of them laughed. Yes, you are
Yes,
absolutely
okay.
correct.
Yes,
Excellent.
ma'am.
They both laughed because they both saw each other on their
On
bikes.
his
That is
bike.
why?
Yes.
Yes, very good. That is why they both laughed at each other. Great. Now, number two. How does he or she describe him or her? So let's start with how does he describe her? So how does Ross describe Kitty, Miss Bindu? Yes, Miss Bindu? You're muted. If you're talking, we cannot hear you.
Teacher, my kids talking to me. Another question. I disturb. I'm not.
Okay. So could you listen to what I asked you right now?
Again, you tell to me question.
Okay, I asked you, how does Ross describe Kitty? So here, see, we saw how Kitty described Ross. Where is it? Describe him in 3 words. So Kitty described Ross in 3 words. And how did Ross describe Kitty?
Ross describe Kitty, the bubbly, maybe funny, bubbly, crazy.
Not crazy, funny, interesting, and very pretty. And yes, he also said that she was very
Pretty.
bubbly. Good that you caught that. Very good. Okay, and what about how did Kitty describe Ross? Okay, Mr. Partho, how did Kitty describe Ross? Yes, Mr. Partho? Your mic is muted.
Funny, kind, interesting.
Interesting or intelligent?
Sorry,
Intelligent.
intelligent.
Good. Very good. So Ross described Kitty as funny, kind, and intelligent. Very good. So number three, who's a veggie, Mr. Partho, and who isn't?
Kitty is a veggie
Good.
and isn't
Who isn't? Who is not? Kitty is,
Rose.
yes. Ross is not. Very good. Kitty is a veggie and Ross isn't. Very good. Number four. Number four, Miss Ria.
Rose is still fish, ma'am. Rose is still eat fish.
Yes, not Ross, Kitty. Kitty is a veggie, but she still eats fish. Yes,
Yes.
right, right. Okay, number four answer, Miss Ria. What did she say about travel? First, tell me what did she say about travel, and then tell me what he said about travel.
Uh, we are going to meet again.
No, no, no,
This
no, not about that. Not about that. About traveling the world. What did Kitty say
travel,
about traveling the world? So
traveling,
does she
music,
want to travel
travel,
more?
music, travel, jobs.
Yes, that is
I
what they
get to
talked
travel a
about.
lot. Yes, I get to travel a lot. I love my job only in the UK. I would love to
Okay,
see more of the
let me
world.
be clear about the question. So this question is asking you that what is her point of view about traveling? So she talked about her work and she talked about music, she talked about traveling, right? So
Yes, yes.
what did she say specifically about only traveling? Does she like to travel? Would she like to travel more? What did she say?
Mm, no, ma'am.
I marked something, see.
Yes.
She said, I'd love to see more of the world. That means that yeah, Kitty likes to travel and Kitty would love to travel more and see the world. Okay, so that is
Yes.
what Kitty said about travel. Now, what did Ross say about travel?
Yes, ma'am.
What did
Kitty
Ross
wants
say
to
about
travel
travel?
the world. Kitty
Yes.
wants to travel the world.
And what about Ross? See,
And Rose. No, ma'am.
Mr. Partho, can you try? Tell me.
Uh, Kitty wants to travel in the world. When he was 21, and that time he tried to travel in the world. Uh,
But now, what about now? Does he
now,
want to travel more?
now he living and working by the sea,
And
and she.
doesn't want to travel anymore. He's happy with his work. Okay. So the answer to this question is, everyone listen carefully. The answer to this question is Kitty wants to travel more of the world, just like we saw here. So before I complete the answer, let me tell you one thing. That is, whenever we're reading a passage and answering the questions, it is better to find out the answer from the passage and answer by ourselves, not taking the sentences that are given in the passage. Okay. So it's easier to build the sentence on our own. What we have to do is we have to read the sentence that is relatable to the question, and then we make sense of that sentence by ourselves and we say the answer according to the question. Okay. So that is what we're doing. Here it's written, I'd love to see more of the world. So it is related to the question, and we have to say that Kitty would love to see more of the world and she would love to travel. But Ross, he already traveled when he was 21. He traveled the world when he was 21, but now he's happy living and working by the sea. So that means he doesn't want to travel anymore at the moment. Okay? So that is the answer to this question. Next is, why did Kitty go red, Miss Bindu? Miss Bindu, you're muted. Your mic is muted, Miss Bindu.
Okay. Uh, Kitty, Kitty went to very red because she said something that embraced her. That reason she went to very red.
Is it really true? That is what Ross thought. Ross actually thought that maybe he said something that embarrassed her and she went red. But what was the actual reason? The actual reason was she was feeling very hot because she had a big woolly jumper on. What is a jumper? A jumper is a
Oh,
sweater.
okay.
Remember? Understood.
Sweater,
So a
sweater.
jumper is a sweater, a woolen sweater. So that is why she was feeling hot and that's why she turned red. But Ross thought that she got embarrassed because of something she said. Well tried, very good. Okay, next. What did Ross teach Kitty, Miss Ria?
Yes, ma'am.
What did Ross teach Kitty? Number six.
Uh, the very much plummet Mark would really love her.
No, no, no. What did
But interesting.
Ross teach Kitty?
Mm,
Kitty learned something from Ross.
yes.
I just
Fun,
marked it.
funny, interesting, very.
That is how Ross is. Teaching someone something is to
Yes, yes. When picked her up from the water, he said, "Are you going to reunion?"
understand the question first, Miss Ria. What did Ross teach Kitty? What did Kitty learn from Ross? Kitty learned to wink. You know what wink is? To wink. That is to wink. So Kitty learned to wink from Ross. Ross taught Kitty to wink. That is the answer to number six. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Number seven, Mr. Partho. Who is Mark and is Kitty going to meet him?
Marcus Rose's friend. Uh, so Mark liked her. Mike liked
Might
her.
like her. Might like her.
Mike like her very much. So that's why Rose said that they ever may ever never
They will
meet
never meet.
ever meet to Kitty. So
Very
that's
good.
so that's why Kitty is not going to meet uh, Rose.
Mark.
Sorry,
Mark.
Mark.
Mark. Good. Good answer. Very good. Mark is Ross's flatmate, and Ross said that Mark is going to like Kitty a lot. That is why he is not going to make them meet ever. But let's see if they actually meet or not, because there is another part about their story that's coming up. Okay, last question. How did the evening end, and what did they do, Miss Bindu? Your mic is muted, Miss Bindu. Yes, Miss Bindu, last question. Your mic is muted, dear. Your mic is muted, Miss Bindu. Miss Bindu, your mic is muted. We cannot hear you.
Oh, okay, okay. They are going to meet
They went
again.
to. No,
They
how did the
went to.
evening end? Where did they go? Did they go anywhere? How did it end? They went somewhere. Where was that?
Down to the beach, ma'am.
Yes, very
Beach.
good, Miss Ria.
Okay.
Down to the beach. Very good.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
what did they do, Miss Ria?
When wave knocked her over,
Okay.
rescued Kitty. When wave knocked her over.
Very good, very good. Excellent. Excellent work. Right now you paid attention and you made the answer correctly. Very good, Miss Ria. So they went down to the beach and there
Yes, sir.
Kitty fell over and Ross rescued her. Very good.
Knocked over.
Exactly. Kitty was knocked over by the wave.
Yes.
That is when Ross rescued her. Very good. Excellent. So that were those 8 questions that we just had about their conversations. Now, next is what happened next. One moment. What happened next? Do you think Kitty and Ross? Okay, before that, let's see activity 4. Compare answers with someone. We don't need to do that. What do Kitty and Ross have in common, and what do they not have in common? Can anyone tell me what both of them have in common? Yes, Mr. Partho?
Uh, Kitty and Rose have in common that they love to travel, but
Good.
now Rose uh,
Doesn't want to travel.
doesn't want to travel, and what
Good.
don't they have in common?
Tell me another thing that they have in common. They have 3 things in common.
Three things
One is
common.
that they love to travel.
Funny. Yes, ma'am. Funny, interesting, very pretty. They are
Yes,
common
very
three
good. They're
things.
both funny. Good. That is their
And
characteristics
interesting.
that matches.
Intelligence.
Good.
Yes.
Good. That is good, Miss Ria. Another thing that is they love their
Yes.
Each
what do
other.
they love? No, not yet. They don't love each other yet because this is the first date. Not yet. They love their jobs.
Yes.
Both of them love their jobs. Another thing that is common is that they both ride bikes. Both of them ride bikes.
Yes, agree. Both of them rights and they enjoy life.
Exactly. They enjoy their lives. Very good, Miss Ria. Now, what do they not have in common? 2 things that they don't have in common.
Two things.
Miss Bindu, give us
Their
some answers.
one is like
Very
veggie
good. Very
and
good.
another is still
Not
eat fish.
good. And what is the other thing that is not common? One thing that I'll give you a hint. Kitty cannot do that, but Ross can do that. What can it be? Ross taught that to Kitty. Kitty learnt it from Ross. Mr. Partho, you're muted.
Travel to around the world, but
No,
Rose
no,
শুভ
that is common. They both like to travel. Yes, Miss
হ্যালো
Bindu?
শুভ
Only
I,
jumper needed is
আমি তো
city,
বেশিরভাগ সময়
but
ডেস্কটপে
Rose
কাজ
is
করি
not worried. I looked
ল্যাপটপের
red.
মধ্যে যে যখন আমি করতেছিলাম
No,
কি জানি
that
বলেন
was just a
তোমাকে
situation. We are
ইয়া
talking about a
ওই
characteristics that they both do not
Oh,
have in
okay, okay.
common.
Sorry,
পার্সেন্টেজ নিয়ে
sorry,
কাজ
sorry,
করতেছিলাম
It's
একটা
sorry,
okay.
sorry.
সিস্টেমে
Okay,
পার্সেন্টেজে
let
কাজ
me
করে
tell
না
you.
গুগল ফর্মের মধ্যে
Do you want
গুগল
to
ফর্ম
try
মানে
anymore?
আমাদের গুগল না কি
No,
জানি
no,
বলে
no,
আমাদের
no,
ওয়ান
no,
টাইম
no, no, not that.
ওয়ান
Buddy.
টাইমে পার্সেন্টেজ এক কলামে হয় আর
I'll tell
কলামে
you
হয় না
one.
পরে আবার
I'll tell you
স্প্রিং এ
one more
করলাম
time. The
20টা
hint
একটা
that
ওটা
I
বন্ধ
just
করে
gave.
আবার দিলাম হয় না
Ross
থার্ড
taught
টাইমে যা
this
হয়েছে
to Kitty.
চিন্তা করছো
Kitty learnt it from Ross.
আমরা কি ঝামেলার মধ্যে পড়লাম মাঝে মাঝে ওয়ান টাইম তো ভাইয়ের সাথে কথা
How
বলতে হবে
to
ওয়ান টাইম
win?
তো আমাদের কেনা ঠিক না
Yes,
পেইড না
exactly. So Kitty doesn't know how to win,
ওয়ান টাইম তো
and
পেইড
Ross knows how to win. So that is one thing that is not
এই
common
আর কি
between them.
আরো দুইটা
Understood?
সমস্যা হয়েছে এখন আর
Yes,
বললাম না
ma'am.
পরে বলবো না কালকে
Okay.
ইনশাআল্লাহ
So
আচ্ছা
good that
জেরিন
you all
তাহলে
tried.
ওইগুলির
Well done.
পরীক্ষাগুলো কি
That was
হইলো
great.
শেষ পর্যন্ত
Now,
সিভির
moving
জন্য বাদ
on to
পড়ছে নাকি
see what
বানাইতে হবে আবার
happens next. So, after reading both
হ্যাঁ
of their impressions and point of views, I was very
জেরিন তো
interested to
স্টুডেন্টকে কল
know
করতেছে হয়
whether
চেষ্টা
they
করছে
will have a future
আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে
together
কালকে
or
কথা
not. Didn't you?
হ্যাঁ এটা
Aren't you
ওইগুলি কি
interested to
ওইগুলি
know
কি মূল
that?
সমস্যা
What goes on after
লেভেল 3
this?
নিয়ে না সিভি
So
নিয়ে
here
নাকি
there is a question. Do you think Kitty and Ross will become boyfriend and girlfriend? Why? Can you see any problem? Discuss.
আজকে না
Do
তো
you think
পরীক্ষা
they
নাকি
will be
কালকে
boyfriend and girlfriend in the future?
সবারই
Do you think that?
হ্যাঁ
Come on, discuss. Open discussion.
Ma'am, number
Yes,
8 or
not those questions, dear Miss Ria. Just opinion. Give me your opinion. Whether do you think they will date in the future or not?
এদের কি
I
তাদের
think
দুইজন
Mark
তিনজন দেওয়ার কথা
Mark
ছিল না
gets the problem.
Okay, you think Mark
হুম?
will be a problem? Okay. And what do you think, Miss Bindu? Do you think that they will get on a relationship or they will become boyfriend and girlfriend in the future?
I have no chance because uh,
হ্যাঁ
I am already married.
হ্যাঁ
That
জানি
reason I have no
Not
chance.
you. We're not talking about any of us. We're talking about Kitty and Ross.
বিয়ন পর্যন্ত
About the two people that we just read about. Do you think both of them will become boyfriend and
বি টু
girlfriend in the future?
ইন্টারমিডিয়েট
Do you
লেভেল
think
হ্যাঁ
it will work out between them?
yes,
What
ma'am.
is your
Maybe.
opinion?
Think
Maybe.
I,
Okay, Miss Ria
বি
also
টু
thinks
কঠিন আছে
it
কিন্তু
may
yes,
work.
yes.
Okay, and Mr. Partho said,
I appreciate the
বি ওয়ান
person
প্রি বি ওয়ান প্রি
whose
ইন্টারমিডিয়েট
are
বি টু
in
ইন্টারমিডিয়েট
future
ফুল ইন্টারমিডিয়েট
love each other.
okay, that's good. But Mr. Partho said Mark might be a problem, right? Because Ross thinks Mark might like Kitty as well. So let's see. We have an audio where we will get to know what actually happened next. So let's listen to that. And here Kitty and Ross will be talking about themselves in the future. So let's see. Let's get to know what actually happened.
1.11. What happened next? Kitty.
Ross texted the day after we met. I was really pleased. I texted him back immediately. We arranged to meet at his workshop to plan my wardrobe. That was a couple of months ago now, and the wardrobe's nearly finished. It's going to be beautiful. Ross is a wonderful carpenter. He came up to Bristol when I was working at a festival there, and we had a great time. All my mates loved him. Oh, and I met his flatmate, Mark. He was nice too. Very nice, in fact. We talked a lot about music. I'm very happy with Ross, but it's early days, and I still want to travel and perhaps work abroad. That's a bit of a problem.
Ross. I sent Kitty a text the next day, and she texted back immediately. I like that. She doesn't play games. Pretty soon after that, I started work building her wardrobe. She has a really nice flat. She's often away working. She was at a festival in Bristol 2 weeks ago. I went up there to see it and to see her. It's not far from here. I met some of her friends, and we had a great time. But I didn't like the music very much. I really hope this is the beginning of a special relationship. I can see a future together. Oh, and she finally met Mark. He liked her a lot. I just knew he would.
Okay, so that was about what happened next between both of them. So it seems like they both liked each other, right? Even in the future, they liked both of each other's work environments and lifestyle and everything, right? What do you think? Tell me, what do you think? Yes, tell me what you thought about after listening to the audio. What is your opinion?
Hopefully, they do their job the different. So the problems that their main problems their work. So no, what will be the next?
Okay, yes. So we still don't clearly know what might happen, but till now it seems like they're both liking each other. They're both liking each other's characteristics, right, Miss Bindu?
Yes.
But what was the problem that you could sense there might be some problem in the future, Miss Bindu? What can that be? What do you
Uh,
think?
mm, Rose helped to Kitty, defense helping, but he realized the Kitty chose one flat, one day she arranged, but Kitty liked to Mark. Kitty already liked to Mark.
Okay.
মানে অলরেডি আপা আমি বাংলায়
There
বলি
there
হ্যাঁ
is a
both
third person
person here,
here. There is a
third
third
person
person
is
here.
here, হ্যাঁ third person here, that reason Kitty is already like to Mark,
Liking
that
Mark.
reason
Okay, more than
Mark, that
Ross.
reason হ্যাঁ more than Rose, that reason
There might be a
stories
problem.
continue another
Another
side,
way. It's
or
going it's
gone
going to another
another
way.
way.
Okay. Okay. Good thing that you caught. What about you, Miss Ria? What do you think? What might
Already,
happen?
already everyone said my
But tell us your
opinions.
opinion.
So there is one thing I left. One person is vegetarian and another is opposite.
Non-vegetarian.
So and most of the people, husband wife is opposite with an opposite relationship.
Okay,
But
so you think opposites attract?
yes, yes,
Okay. Okay, that is also a good point. See, you have a different point than the others.
yes,
That's
yes.
good. That's good. Okay. That is all about this story at the moment. We don't know what might happen next, but till now it seems that it is going well, but there might be a turning point because Mark is here. So we don't know what happens. So next, let's move on. I don't know, we might get to know about them, we might not, but let's hope for a good future for them, right? Okay, so next here, we're done with the first page of our reading and speaking. Our last parts here is a very simple activity that is about adjectives. So we know what adjectives are, right? When we use words, the words that we use to describe nouns is adjective. So like a good boy, good is the adjective here. And then nice weather, so nice is describing weather, so that is an adjective. Nice is adjective. But oftentimes there are certain words that can be formed into adjectives that are not actually adjective, but can be formed into adjectives by adding ed or ing at the end of the words. Okay. For example, interest. So interest is a noun and we can form that into an adjective by adding ed to it, that is interested, or by adding ing to it, that is interesting. So when do we add ing to a word to make it to an adjective? When we are talking about an action that is about ourselves. That is when we use ing with a noun or any word to make it into an adjective. And when the action that is going on is not about ourselves, but we're receiving the action, or we're watching the action, or we're talking about the action, that time, if we want to describe that action, we have to use ed to form the adjective. So here, two sentences are given. First is Kitty was interested. We have to match the correct option that are given here. The first is Kitty was interested. Will it be was because she was funny and bubbly, or will it be in Ross's job? Can anyone tell me? Kitty was interested. Which one will be the correct answer?
In Rose's job.
Very good. Very good, Miss Bindu. Kitty was interested in Ross's job. So, see, we are talking about Ross's job. That is the action. It is not my action, it is someone else's action. That is why we are using ed with interested. And the second sentence, that is, Kitty was interesting because she was funny and bubbly. Here, Kitty is talking, we are talking about Kitty herself, right? So the action is about Kitty, and everything that we're talking about is about Kitty. That is why we add ing to the word that is interest. Okay, clear now? What we have to do in the next activity is that some parts of some words like excite, number two is surprise, number three is bore, bored, bore, boring. So we have to embarrass, embarrassing, embarrassed. These words have to be completed by adding ed or ing according to the sentence that is given. So we have to understand whether this sentence will have an adjective with ed or ing. We have to find that out by reading the sentence that is given, and we have to complete the word. Okay. So let's see. I'll give you 30 seconds. I hope it's very easy. You'll be able to do it. Take 30 seconds time and complete. Okay, done? Let's start. Miss Bindu, tell me the answer of number one. Read the whole sentence.
It's my birthday tomorrow. It's my birthday tomorrow, so I am very excited.
Very good. So I'm very excited. Very good. Number two, Miss Ria. Miss Ria?
Hello.
Yes, number two.
Would your friends like her?
Number two, I was surprised dash when my team won. This one.
Maybe I'm missing something.
Where are you?
I did not understand, ma'am.
We are doing this. Can you
Ma'am,
see the marking?
um, actually, I'm in countryside, so network sometimes
Oh, okay, okay,
go
okay, okay,
out,
okay, okay.
ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
I get it. I get it. Maybe it's your screen is not loading yet.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay, I get it. No problem. Mr. Partho, you can do number two.
Hopefully, it is. Sorry, it was. It was surprised when.
I was.
It was
I
surprised
was.
when my team won. It's usual.
Very good, very good. I was surprised when my team won. It's usually rubbish. Very good. Number three, Miss Bindu.
I don't like a new boyfriend. I don't like a new boyfriend. You are so boring.
Very good. He is so boring. Very good. Why is it boring? Because I am talking about my opinion. That is why it is ing. Right? Good. Number four, Miss Ria, can you now see the screen?
Ma'am, I see the skin. You see, story. Best thing about her. This is the skin, ma'am.
No, no,
Last
no,
page.
it's not. No, it's not. It's still loading then. We're doing the last activity of our second page today. That is activity 8. Okay? Complete the adjectives with ed or ing. That is what we're doing.
ED or ING, ma'am.
Yes.
ED, rescued, knocked, uh, and ING is interesting.
Yes, that part. That part. Activity 7, interesting, interested, that part. The next activity that is there, activity 8, we're doing that.
8,
Okay.
ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Miss Ria, do one thing.
কোন
After
ব্যাপারে
we're done with the class, you have the book, right?
কোন
You can
ব্যাপারে
practice it by
Okay, ma'am.
yourself.
Okay,
No
okay,
problem.
okay.
Okay? Okay. Thank you. Okay, number 4, Mr. Partho.
Don't embarrassed.
Don't be.
Don't be embarrassed. Everybody cries sometimes.
Very good. Don't be embarrassed. Everybody cries sometimes. Last one, Miss Bindu.
Thank you. That lesson was really interesting.
Very good. Thank you. That lesson was really interesting. Excellent work. Very good, all of you. Okay, so this was all for today's lesson. So, what did we learn? Today we learned how we can read a passage and answer through it, answer from it, and then we learned how to listen to an audio carefully and how we can prepare the answers.
আমার
Then we
কম্পিউটারে কি
learned
একটা
some
সমস্যা হচ্ছে
new
বারবার ডিস্টার্ব
way of
করতেছে জুমে
using adjectives, that is by adding ed and ing and forming an adjective and using it appropriately in the sentence, right? So that was all for today's class. Next class, we will be learning more about vocabularies. That is, we will work with new words and in ways that are new to you. Same words can be used in many ways. So that is what we will learn in our next class. For now, I will stop sharing.
Sharir bhai, I have
Thank
to
you
go
all.
out of home.
This
Please,
was
it's
great. Especially, I would like to thank all
18.
three of you because today I saw some improvements and that made me really happy. Because for the past two classes, I've been teaching you some techniques that were needed for you, and you actually, I
Hello.
hope you worked on it. And that is why I could
ঠিক
see
আছে.
some
Thank you
improvements in
very
you,
much.
and hopefully, I'll see more improvements in our future classes. Thank you all.
কালকে একটা
I'll
মিটিং
give it
আছে
over
কিন্তু
to
4টার
Sir
সময়
if
আমি
Sir
নোটিশ
has
দিব
to say
4টার
something.
সময়
And thank you all of you. See you
আবার
in
খেলি
our
বাবার
next
সাথে
class. And Miss Ria,
বুঝলাম না আমার এখানে জুম আর
thank
আমার
you
নেট খুব
to
ডিস্টার্ব
you
করতেছে
too.
জুম বারবার
Don't be
লাফাচ্ছে স্ক্রিন
disappointed. You
কালকে
did
কথা বলবো
well. You
ইনশাল্লাহ
tried your best. Inshallah, you'll do
Okay, ma'am.
better in future.
Inshallah,
Don't be
inshallah.
disappointed, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, and another thing for all of you, what I would like you to do is whatever we're doing in class, now that you have the contents with you, you have the book and the course materials, you practice it by yourself, okay? Whatever I'm teaching, you practice it at home. That will improve your skills and other things that you're looking forward to. Okay, like if you have the audio, you listen to those audios and you try to do the activities by yourself without seeing the answers if you have it there with you at the moment that you did in class. So try it by yourself. That will improve you as well. You can improve your skills by yourself as well. So Sir would like to talk to you. Wait for some time. He's coming. Okay. Thank you all from my side.